Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take another look here at Ethereum, see what's going on, of course, help understand best practice, big picture, the whole 9 yards there, just so you can become a better trader. Again, if you do want to become more of a proficient trader, I've had some fantastic results here recently with my Trading Academy, community, and Signal group. Link in the description below. Check that out, CryptoCache.tech is a website. Be happy to help you out. I also have discounts for third world countries and military, so please feel free to message me direct. Only use the contact information below. I will never reach out and directly message you. It's just, I'll respond, but I'm not going to initialize a conversation and try to solicit you, so I'm not a dirty scammer like the comments below. So just heads up on that. Take a look here at Ethereum. Basically what we're looking at is some pretty standard stuff. We see a nice doji candle yesterday, which in most cases does imply a reversal. So far, not today. The main reason why? Traditional markets are up by right around 2.5 to 3%. So that's a good sign. We saw a nice gap up over the weekend, for lack of better terms, with the holiday weekend there. And at this point, we're looking at Ethereum doing fairly well. Once again, it's synonymous with Bitcoin. It hasn't broken free of it yet, but it is 1.5x of Bitcoin. So it's technically performing a little bit better today than Bitcoin is. So again, Ethereum's looking good, but in general, what we're looking at here is some positive stuff. And let's start with the daily here first of all. Looking at the convergence on the MACD, this is converging a lot sooner and faster than Bitcoin. In other words, once again, that 1.5x is causing this to occur a lot faster, so we might actually see a convergence on the daily here, implying that we should expect a little bit more upside. Furthermore, as well, we are above 30 on the RSI finally. We've been underneath that for some time. And anytime we are underneath 30, it typically holds there for a little while, such as maybe just say about a week or so. That's pretty close to what we just saw experience. Actually, no, it was more like 7 or 8, maybe like 8 or 9 days we had underneath that, which is, again, disadvantageous, but once again, back up over that level, the implication is that we should expect some upside. Again, there's no guarantees just because of the fact that we had a nice green day today and the fact that we're back up over 30, but it does imply that the bears are losing control and that we're in a pretty good position here for Ethereum. Okay, so again, good stuff there in that sense to the upside. If you have a short position open, wouldn't be terrible to consider leaving it open depending on the overall circumstances. And what I mean by that is, if you have a small position size like the ones that we're taking with our trading community right now, we can afford to leave that open based on the simple fact that it's just kind of, it's inevitable, I feel, at this point that we're going to see a lower price point from Ethereum based on Bitcoin likely continuing to progress lower. But for right now, it's hit that little push to the upside, and we can see here that Ethereum's doing fairly well. Okay, so again, that's generally speaking what we're looking at there. We haven't passed some key level resistances here though. Keep this in mind, right around 1250. 1250 is an essential resistance level. So there's a strong chance we're going to come up to that level and reject out and come back down. That's just kind of how it feels so far, just based on the overall momentum and how strong of a shelf 1250 was previously for those 3 days before the price came down. All right, so again, just some things to think about. Moving on to the 4 hour, we can see this similar behavior to Bitcoin, where the price action comes up, breaks above 50 in the RSI, comes back down to retest this level here at about 1075, and essentially comes up to the next Fibonacci retracement, 1173, and continues to work itself within these levels. So Fibonacci is kind of holding the price action in place. You can see it got a rejection here at about 1175, and there's a strong chance we'll probably see the price continuing higher from here, but it does look like it wants to stop out there for the moment. Once again, a close above 1250 would be really, really good. That's what we're looking for confirmation for Ethereum. Again, preferably a daily close above 1250. Looking at the MACD, we can see we had a nice convergence there a while ago, of course, once we had this significant upswing here on the 19th, of course. But at this point, Ethereum is definitely looking decent. There's no reason for us to expect it to turn around in the immediate future. But once again, we could be losing momentum. Let's go ahead and see if we can identify that here. We did hit a 9 here previously. We got a reset. We're up to a 3. So that's very similar to Bitcoin. Bitcoin has the same behavior. It really just tells us that we have more potential for upside. Okay, we're not over-exhaustive. It had a nice little recovery overnight to allow for it to leg up again, and that nice green open for the market close, or the traditional markets rather, looking very good here. They're up about 2.5%, 3% on the day. So that's a positive sign here for Ethereum. Taking a look, of course, at the 1 hour, we can see that we don't have anything extreme here, but of course we did hit an extreme status. In other words, we had a full-on 9 plus overtime for the continuation of the upside. And what that basically just means is that we hit this exhaustive state, but it went kind of sideways for 5 or 6 hours and allowed for it to have enough leg up again, right? So it allowed it to give that extra push to the upside here, essentially based on that sentiment. So again, all good stuff here in that sense. That's not like a super big concern with us hitting a 9 and going into overtime, because it did essentially have a chance to kind of calm down and relax. So again, this is actually looking pretty healthy and good in the general sense of things, because keep in mind Bitcoin's kind of doing one of these for the moment, whereas Ethereum's it's got better higher lows. So Ethereum's definitely performing a lot better in that sense, but just keep in mind they're still very similar. Bitcoin has a downswing, Ethereum will as well. So you just got to recognize the fact that that is the case. But based on reviewing Bitcoin earlier, I can tell you that it does look like it wants to continue to progress higher. It definitely does have that feeling, but we're still below some key level resistances. Regardless of the fact that we're making higher lows, doesn't break the fact that we haven't made higher highs yet. And I'm not talking about the short-term higher highs. I'm referring to the higher highs on just say the 4-hour or perhaps even the daily. If you take a look at the daily here, you can see, once again, as I mentioned earlier, there's this really strong level right here where the price action got rejected out very hard, right about 1250. So we're getting closer to that level, but I wouldn't be surprised if the price comes up to 1250 and rejects. That's just kind of how it feels. So until we may establish a higher low, a higher high rather, we want to establish a higher high on the daily, then at that point, we can look towards our next goals. For now, I would anticipate the price action kind of staying either where it's at, testing 1250 and or rejecting, or possibly even coming back down. But generally speaking, a lot of this has to do with the traditional market, so pay attention to that as well. If we get a red day on Wednesday, tomorrow, we could very well see a red day from Ethereum today, or tomorrow as well, right? That being said, a lot of the progress from today could be swept away. So I guess the general sense here is that the big picture macro, we're still on a downtrend. Okay, so until we can break above the 50-day SMA on the daily and essentially get above this trend line, I'm not going to have a lot of confidence in Ethereum or any other coin for that matter, because Bitcoin's in a very similar state. That said, though, the macro is not looking great where the micro is. So the micro, in other words, the 1 hour, the 4-hour charts, they're really telling us a lot about the fact that there's this momentous push to the upside, bears have lost control, and there's a strong chance we're going to retest that level of 1250. So I'm hoping that happens. All right, so that's essentially where we're at here for Ethereum. Again, just kind of standard stuff, but also some good big picture things you kind of need to understand and recognize. Pay attention to the regular markets, position size effectively, use your risk tolerance, and make sure if you want to become a little bit better or well-rounded trader, check out my Trading Academy, community, and signal group. CryptoCache.tech is a site link in the description below. I do look forward to working with you. Thank you so much to everyone, and we'll look forward to seeing you next one. Have a great rest of your day.